I'm at 1855 Lindenhall Drive in Loveland, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is the stack here in the rear of the basement. This is the only access point. There's probably one in the floor in the front, but it is covered over with carpet, and so hope we don't need to get into that. But the line is cast iron. It should be cast iron in the house all the way until it exits, and then it should turn over to clay, most likely, when it exits the house. And so you see a little bit of channeling here at the base of the stack. That's pretty normal as far as how the water comes down. Cast iron is a little strange as far as you can never really tell how much life is left in it. You're looking for functionality or any visual defects as far as like structural issues, actual holes in the line, stuff like that. It all looks pretty ugly because it does rust, and so I've run some water for quite a while. The camera lens is only about ½ an inch off the bottom of the pipe, so it's not surprising to have just a little bit of water there that will touch the end of the lens. And so as we're looking, the hard thing here is that you just want to make sure there's no holes in the line. It all looks really rusty like this, and then this is the shared line with the kitchen sink, and so you'll have a little bit of grease there. That's that white stuff on the side. Overall, the pipe is open and pretty good size. A lot of times when they rust like this, they can kind of rust closed, and so this looks pretty open. So this looks pretty good for cast iron. It's holding most of its shape. Cast iron is also more known for soft clogs like wet wipes and excessive toilet paper. It happens just due to the fact of how rough it is, and so I always make sure that people don't use wet wipes. It's even more important in the cast iron, and that says even if it says flushable, it's not, and it can catch on these rough areas of the pipe and build up. It doesn't break down like toilet paper, and that's the main issue. Toilet paper will break down when it hits water. Pretty shortly after it hits water, it'll disintegrate, and that's what you want. So if it does catch, it'll break down into nothing and flow on down the line. The wet wipes will not do that. They will, they will stay in one piece, and then things will build up behind it, and that's where you run into big issues. So, looks like we are diving here. This looks like this is pretty common for the time, but if you look how it looks like a little oval coming in, the camera's going to drop, and there's a clean out right there. And so we're hoping we can get through this bend, but a lot of times when they have these turns, this clean out, the line goes out high and then drops vertical, so it'll drop down, and then that vertical pipe has a clean out on the top, and then when you get to the bottom, it 90s out towards the street as it's going underneath the foundation. Usually from access points back here, the camera doesn't want to make all those turns, and so right now we are diving pretty drastically, and so maybe we can get level. Let's see if we can get it, but a lot of times it will not go because it makes such a hard 90, and in the cast iron, yeah, it's not going to make this turn. That's why they put the clean out in the floor before it exits, so you can get access to the top of this vertical line. If you look in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see that the the camera is sitting vertically. It gives you an angle indicator. It's almost at 90 degrees. I'm hanging straight down. And so what that does is that when you get to the bottom of that cast iron, just like on the last one, it kind of works its way. And we'll try to run some water here, but it kind of works its way. Leaves a divot so the camera gets caught, and so it's not able to make these turns. So we can try to run some water and see if it'll make that turn and go. But a lot of times it doesn't. So keep trying to push, and maybe the water will help it get past it. No, I'm just tearing up my camera and digging stuff into the line. Yeah, I'm damaging my camera here, so I'm going to let this sit for a minute and see if the water can build up enough to help it out. But this may be about as far as I'm able to get without opening up the line or opening up the clean out at the foot of the steps. I'm going to pause the video for a second. We're going to let this sit and see if it helps. Alright, we're going to make another attempt and see if we can get to that. But if nothing else, I'm going to mark. Yeah, if nothing else, I'm going to mark exactly where I'm going to have to mark where that clean out is. So I'm going to pull up vertical like I was, and then I'm going to sit at the top of that, and we're going to look to see if we can get access. So it's right here, and so I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to turn on the transmitter, and then we're going to find exactly where that line is, exactly where the clean out access is, so we can see if we can get access to it.
So this right here?
Okay, so we are going to pull back here. We've got it marked, but we're going to go ahead and pull back out of here. The cast iron does look like it's in decent shape for its age. It's not. There's no big issues with it. No structural issues or anything. It is ugly, like I said, but it's pretty normal for old cast iron. So, but we've run a ton of water through it. It is functioning normally. So we are waiting to hear if we can access the floor clean out, or if it's going to have to be something that's done at a later date. But right now, we have pulled all the way back out. So just to sum up there, the interior line looks good. It looks normal for its age. Rusty and a little bit of rust buildup and a little bit of channeling, but nothing abnormal for its age and material. So we're gonna go ahead and pause the video for a second, see if we can get access, and then we'll return and end the video if we can't get it in a timely manner. Okay, so as of right now, we don't have access to that front clean out, and so we're only able to inspect the roughly 20 feet of interior cast iron, which is open and fully functional at time of inspection, but we were unable to inspect the presumably clay on the exterior, and so we're recommending that the clean out underneath the carpet be uncovered, and so we can get access to inspect the line from the house to the street. So at this time, the first inspection at 1855 Lindenhall Drive in Loveland, Ohio. Well, that is the end of the inspection at 1855 Lindenhall Drive in Loveland, Ohio.